Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew, too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Welcome to No Question About That. This is the midweek pod on a Friday, talking about United 2, PAOK 0. I'm with Tom. How's it going?
Yeah, reasonably good. Obviously, we had a lovely win last night. We had a lovely win on Tuesday as well with beating Man City in the Champions League. And yeah, it was kind of just a bit coloured by the orange guy. Yeah, but apart from that, all good. Football perspective, feels amazing right now. That win, our win on Tuesday night against City.
That was great.
It was just amazing.
Our win, really, Sir Jim should just go buy Sporting, and we'll just complete the cycle. Really, since they've got a better team than us, maybe we could just buy them.
I did
and
feel for Amarim watching him, like just being like, "Oh, mate, you're going to have to come in and deal with our players in midfield." But yeah, we played really well last night. Really well, maybe stretching it, but we played fine. Yeah,
well, we'll get onto that. And we'll do a little bit for backers, patreon.com/NQAT pod, or you can find it in the Apple Podcast feed as well, subscriber-only content. And you will find it on Spotify, but it is under NQAT Extra. I'm trying to link the two things, and it doesn't seem to be possible. Anyway, we do 2 shows a week, Tactics show and then the Extra show. And the Extra show this week, we're going to talk about Trump and 2026 World Cup and how the two themes kind of tie together. For now, United 2, PAOK 0. I was trying to get this right because the actual very long name is quite challenging.
PAOK
Salonika, from Salonika, but their full name is extremely long.
Yes.
I've been doing my best to learn it. But everyone just calls them PAOK, like you call them FIFA or UEFA, I guess.
Yeah. Greek words.
End up with thousands of fans. Yeah, that's right. They turned up with thousands of fans at Old Trafford and did a great big long march through Manchester. And I guess this was a really big night out for that club, which has a kind of interesting history, doesn't it? I mean, in the north of Greece, which is culturally different from the south or the islands anyway, owned by a Russian guy who maybe has some kind of Kremlin links. So I only slightly dug into all of that. I wasn't quite sure of where to go with it. But fantastic fans. The team put in a decent performance. Obviously, it's one of the sort of lowest ranked teams in the Europa League, so you couldn't really expect them to be an awesome team, but I thought they gave United a good run yesterday. And this is a United side that hadn't won a game in Europe for over a year.
Yeah, they were fine, weren't they? I think the Greek league is definitely nowhere near as good as it maybe was. Olympiacos seemed to dominate that league, and Panathinaikos are okay as well. Panathinaikos have probably got a few players you recognise, whereas PAOK last night didn't really. Sivkovic, who was their captain for a bit, was Benfica for a bit, and obviously Shoretiri, who I really thought would be playing a little bit more, especially as he's kind of left, he's gone get first team football in a random place. Yeah, it's not. It's really an
interesting pathway, isn't it, for a young United player? I mean, there have been some examples of young United players heading abroad, not too many.
Angel Gomez, obviously.
Angel Gomez, big success. Obviously, out contract this summer. Nod, wink, wink, need some midfielders, don't we? Bring him back. Because it always works, bringing back a old United team midfielder. Zidane Iqbal went to Utrecht, hasn't really played a lot not been super successful. The XC brothers played abroad a little bit a few years back. And Sharatere, that was his 7th appearance, but most of them off the bench. So hasn't played loads this season. Aside from that, PAOK players you'd recognise, it's Johnny. He used to play for Wolves. Yeah.
That was about
Who
it,
for a
really.
Wolves player is not Portuguese, he's Spanish.
Yes.
They had that period of being highly Portuguese. So, I mean, some decent players, but you would expect United to dispatch them fairly easily.
Yeah, and like AEK Athens in the Europa Conference League qualifying lost to they lost to the team that Chelsea beat 8-0 last night. So
right.
like that kind of shows that the quality of the Greek league losing to the Armenian runners up of their league. So yeah, not great. But I think, like I said at the start, like it was a good win. Like maybe not like amazing, but I felt like it was fairly comfortable. They had that really big chance, didn't they, at 1-0? But we were so wasteful in that first half, and it just, the amount of opportunities we got, and it's not the sort of stuff that would come up on XG because we weren't getting the shots away. It was just choosing the bad pass at the wrong time, and just
yes,
and it was so frustrating. And it happens so often with our forwards. Like Garnacho, well, he obviously doesn't deserve people shouting at him from a meter away, telling him how bad he is, obviously. But like Garnacho is going through a bit of a phase at the moment, and this
I think he needs
just
a break. Honestly,
Yeah,
I was surprised he started. I think he needs time off because he's playing tired. Like he's making bad decisions.
He is making bad decisions, and I think also that will be helped out massively through coaching as well. And I feel like Ahmad's also will benefit from world-class coaching too. Højlund will benefit from world-class coaching too, because you see the attributes they have, you see the characteristics they have, you see their mentality as well. Like they all have the ability there. It's just kind of making that wrong decision at the wrong moment. And you think back to like the best teams that United had, especially when we were ace on the counter-attack, even having like Park, Nani, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, those types of players, they all had the ability, but it was always choosing the right pass. It was having that football intelligence. Park Ji-sung was awesome for that. Like he didn't have the most technical ability, but it was choosing that right pass. And I feel like bringing in someone like Amorim, who is a developer of players, like he's done it with a lot of youth players at Sporting, and also has done it with lesser players at Sporting to make them the best team in Portugal with a lower budget than the two above them. Those players are going to thrive under him, and you see it last night. It's just like there's so much potential there, and there's so much waste, and especially when we have someone like Ruud van Nistelrooij who never wasted anything. It felt like when he was playing for us, for him to be watching that, being like, I bet he must be tearing his hair out. And with Højlund, he just was anonymous last night.
Yeah, he barely touched the ball. I can't remember how many touches it was. It was like 14 touches or something dreadful like that. I believe he has the tools. You look at Gyökeres the other night and look at his movement. Højlund is a very good mover. Look at his data on passes received, and I forget what the other really good data point is on demonstrating movement, but passes received in the final third and number of shots and stuff like that, it was much, much higher at Atalanta, much higher. So I believe he has a good movement to get into the right places. He needs the ball in front of him. He doesn't create a lot of opportunities for himself, right? So there's stuff to work on, but there's raw material there. And particularly Ten Hag, where he was used basically to fight with the centre-back. So it was completely the wrong way of using Højlund. So I think there's an opportunity there. I'm definitely not saying he's definitely going to make it, because I don't think that's obvious yet, but with the right kind of coaching, right kind of person, given that Amorim places...
I think if you also look at like the comparison between Højlund and Gyökeres, like Gyökeres was sold by Brighton for £1 million, I think at the same age as Højlund is now, because the Brighton team, and Dan Ashworth was one of those guys, thought that he wasn't good enough, and no one thought he was good enough. He had spells at Swansea where he wasn't very good. He had a spell at Coventry before he actually signed for them where he wasn't amazing. He had a spell in Germany, I think, with St. Pauli. wasn't amazing there either. Like, especially for a striker, it's way too early to judge whether he's going to make it or not. But if you were to compare the two, Højlund is a lot further along. But that's what coaching does. Like Mark Robins, I think, is a really good coach. Obviously, he got sacked from Coventry today, but he's finding the right place for him and putting him in a system where it gets the best out of him. And like you say, that wasn't the case under Ten Hag. But if you look at kind of the system that Amorim plays, you think it's actually perfect for Højlund.
I mean, it should be.
Not for Xerxes at all. It's
no.
like, oh my God, where's he going to fit in? But for Højlund, it's like, run him into those spaces, run him into the channels, using his pace, his strength, his ability with both feet. There's a lot there. It just kind of needs nurturing a little bit from me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all three of them, I thought in the first half were quite poor in the final third. So, I mean, Ahmad comes away from the game with the headlines and because he's got 2 goals and created a couple of big chances, he'll get a good rating on all the apps. But I don't think that tells a full story of his game.
No.
He was not great in that first half, extremely wasteful. His passing completion rate was at 60%. So, like, all three of them, not quite right. I do look at what the transition might be from very, very wide forwards asked to kind of stretch the pitch under Ten Hag to much, much narrower under Amorim with 2 wide fullbacks. I mean, if Amorim decides to deploy his system straight away, which is, I think, still a question, it should suit the kinds of players. I mean, it would get them much closer to goal, and which suits Garnacho, Rashford, and Ahmad. Ahmad's a different player, obviously different style of player. So the outlook seems to be right, but there's a lot of work to be done for those three, I think. And it's just generally for United, it was just a little bit underwhelming in that first half. They looked tired, which is odd because we're 16 games into the season or something like that, not 60 games. But yeah, there was something about the lack of energy, which was a bit concerning. I mean, obviously, the more toxic parts of our fan base look at that and go, oh, lack of effort, they don't care. I don't think it's that.
No.
I never felt with Ten Hag that they down tools and they just couldn't be bothered, or they were, as suggested by one of the United stand crew, faking injuries because they didn't want to play. So I don't believe any of that nonsense. I do believe the system was terrible and not extracting the best from almost any player in the squad. Most of them, I think, could benefit from the type of tactics that Amorim will bring in, or at least most of the forwards. There's a question mark over Bruno, obviously. We got the centre-backs to play the system. The full-backs or wing-backs is a question mark, I think. But anyway, yeah, frustrating first half. Second half, I mean, obviously, create 2 chances out of nothing, basically. I mean, the first one, you don't really expect the 5'0" guy to beat everyone in the air and score a looping header. It was a bit like Lionel Messi in the 2011 Champions League final.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck? How the fuck is still how the fuck? But yeah, Ammo's a bit like that. Goes head to it. They were complaining about a push. Didn't really seem like much in that to me. By the way.
What penalties before that?
At least one. I mean, the Ahmad one, the first one was really clear. Just took him out.
Yeah.
I mean, how VAR can look at that and go, "Oh yeah, no." I just don't even understand what a penalty is now. I
thought the Garnacho one was also stonewall as well. Like Robbie Savage was saying on BT that he thinks that Garnacho kicked him, but Garnacho was in possession of the ball. You can't just put your foot like somewhere just as where the player's about to kick the ball, because that to me is like, yeah, he might have kicked him, but yeah, you put your foot literally where the guy was going to place his foot. So that's surely a penalty because Garnacho was in possession of the ball. A little bit like that penalty that De Ligt gave away the other day, like in the West Ham game.
Who kicked who? Yeah.
Yeah, who kicked who? And because the possession was not in either of the players' possession. So therefore, like, that's what I think anyway.
I mean, the West Ham one, Howard Webb came out and said that was wrong. I mean, it was obviously wrong. It was just a rigid, and the idea that you could go from the referee making a mistake, okay, I mean, he's right there, but fine, to VAR going, well, in fact, the referee didn't make a mistake, did he? VAR went, oh, yeah, I think you should look at this. And then the referee looks in and goes, that's penalty, that's ridiculous. The Garnacho one, I mean, it's one of those where if we'd be given it, I'd be like, not sure. Feels a bit like the De Ligt one here. I'm not sure who's at fault here, so it's harder to give. The Ahmad one, I just don't know how you can't look at that and go, yeah, obviously.
Crazy.
It's obviously a penalty. It wasn't even a corner. I mean, he just took him out. So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, back to the goals. I mean, amazing that he scored the header from the Bruno pass, wasn't it? And then the second one, he's made it all himself. That's
Beautiful.
the tenacity to win the ball back, to beat a couple of players, and just cut a brilliant goal.
Yeah, and I think that goal almost epitomizes exactly what we were like under Ten Hag and what we still are like now under Van Nistelrooy, because what we saw from Diallo was tenacity and individual quality. Yeah, he got a little bit of deflection, and hard work, I guess. And I feel like all of those things we still did have under Ten Hag. And like you say, it didn't feel like a case of down in tools. And I think that's why under Van Nistelrooy, very little has changed, apart from potentially a little bit more luck. But like the Chelsea game on Sunday, and on all three of the games, maybe a little less chaos. But
there's no chaos. But I think that's partly because Ugarte's now playing, right?
Yeah,
he's
apart
filling
from
in
that,
some of the holes.
It's very similar. And like Van Nistelrooy, I guess, came in to be told, make these players cheery, make them enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. But like that can only really go so far. And like the tactics are basically the same as what they were. I'm not saying this isn't me criticizing Van Nistelrooy or anything.
No.
He's not going to come in and make wholesale changes. But say when Ollie took over Mourinho, the players were in such a bad position at that point. Whereas Ollie, all he needed to do was kind of just smile, and like the players would play a lot better. Whereas now it's a lot more difficult because, like you said, the players were trying. I feel like in that West Ham game, the last game, we actually were reasonably good. We just were let down again by the similar types of mistakes, the similar type of errors that were costing us earlier in the season, the similar type of tactical errors as well, like the lack of game plan. Whereas, Van Nistelrooy's come in, potentially got a little bit more luck with how the goals went in against Leicester, how that guy missed that really, really good chance where Anana's anticipated it before he's even shot. Yeah. And then a deflected goal goes in, an Ahmad goal. And these are the small margins which are winning us games and losing us games under Ten Hag. That's why I feel like when Amorim comes in, it's going to be actually reasonably difficult to make an immediate impact, because he's going to have to rip everything up and bring in his new style of play immediately. And it's not a factor that everyone was just not giving a shit, which a lot of people do think online. Oh, they need to work harder, they need to change their mentality. I don't buy any of that. It's the tactics that need to change. And if Amorim can do that mid-season, which a little bit like Klopp did when he came in at Liverpool and got them playing reasonably quickly, then that would be amazing. But I feel that there might be teething problems because of the issues. And I think what we've seen in the Van Nistelrooy kind of displays all that.
Yeah, he hasn't changed anything really tactically. I don't think. I mean, who was it? Anana said 100% they want him to stay. Ahmad said he gives us confidence. So I think it's just vibe shift to start with. You wouldn't expect he's had hardly any training sessions. Like there's 3 days between games. They have a rest day, so he's having 2 training sessions a week. He's had 2 weeks, right? It's like almost nothing. So you wouldn't.
What's the point, really? What's the point of changing?
Exactly. You just go for the basics. I mean, the fact that he's deploying Casemiro and Ugarte is just to give them some solidity and just have a midfield there, right? So there are clearly still some problems with creating and especially converting chances, but I think I'm right in saying they are not giving up 20 plus shots a game at the moment. So it's just gone a little bit back to basics, but it's very hard to make any judgments about him other than the players seem to like him and want him to hang around, and there's a big question mark about whether he will. I suspect he won't, and it'll be a real shame. It'd be nice if they could find him a role, but Amorim is bringing 5 coaches with him. Yeah. So it doesn't seem like there's a plan for Ruud. We'll find out. No.
Usually when a foreign manager comes in, like when Guardiola came into City, like Brian Kidd was the guy that stayed on and when he was obviously there for Mancini as well. So you do often find that there will be a link. I just wonder with Van Nistelrooij, is he too much of a big personality? Like, whereas Brian Kidd is a bit more, and Mike Phelan, for example, just two assistant managers who are a bit more background, whereas I feel like Van Nistelrooij is very main character energy. And I just wonder if that maybe is a difficult kind of dynamic to have in the backroom stuff. No, I absolutely love him. Obviously, I've spoken about like last week. He's one of my favorite United players of all time, and his celebrations when we scored last night, and also on Sunday was amazing. I love that celebration that he did against Chelsea. But yeah, I just wonder if he's a bit too main character energy for to be backroom.
Well, we'll find out, and it depends on his ambitions as well, because he came into management quite late. Really. He's 47, I think, 47, 48, and he's had one season as a head coach. A few in the background as well before that, but yeah, depends on what he wants to achieve. So he's put himself in a shop window. United done all right in these 3 games, and it's obviously extremely visible. And maybe there's a chairman out there somewhere that's like, yeah, I'd like Ruud, but it kind of depends on him a little bit. All right. I mean, where does this leave us? We're up to like 11th or something in the Europa League Group Phase. So we probably, it's 6 points, 4 games, 15 or 16. So we've got 4 games left. 3 wins and a draw probably will do it. It's Bodo Glimt and Rangers at home, and Victoria Pleasant and FCSB, Steaua Bucharest away. These are 4 games that are definitely winnable for United. It's just we don't win European football games, generally speaking. Could you believe that was 380 days since our last win in Europe?
Really bad. And also, we've played some pretty trash teams in that time as well. It's not like we've been playing the best of the best.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. Just what an embarrassing stat. That is awful.
Really is. And that's what felt so good as well about getting over the line last night. Like, yeah, it wasn't a great team from not a great league, but at least we got like the victory, and there wasn't chaos. There wasn't a falling apart of the seams. And that's what, that is what Van Nistelrooij has seemed to have kind of put a lid on, at least. Maybe that's a bit of luck, because like I say, a lot of like Ten Hag's losses and wins were fine margins, and football is a game of small margins. But I think also, you got to give the credit to Van Nistelrooij of potentially just giving the players a bit more of solidity and also a bit more confidence as well.
Sure thing. Yeah. Well, look, if Tottenham had been willing, which they weren't, and United had spent 100 million on Harry Kane, obviously he would have put away a lot of these big chances that United are creating, right? And Ten Hag may still be in a job. It wasn't possible. Spurs weren't going to do the deal. He ended up in Germany, scored bag loads of goals in a pretty average Bayern side. And that may have been completely transformational, because for the same money, we've got Højlund, raw ingredients, doesn't get enough touches or shots off, partly his fault, a lot of system fault. And Xerxes, who we can't quite work out what he is yet for the same money, right? So that's a frustration for sure. By the way, for free, we got Alejandro Garnacho. So maybe that balances it out a little bit. And Rashford's obviously free as well. Garnacho was 200,000 or something like that and there'll be a little more if we sell him. You have to kick back some of the money, don't you? 5% to the training club. I had a little more expensive. I think we spent 20 million euros on him so far. It'll be another 20 if he hits certain performance goals. So on last night's performance, there's 20 million euros worth of player there for sure. More, you think, in terms of talent? Absolutely. Yeah. So he just needs to put it together.
Yeah, with Xerxes and Højlund, I guess Højlund first, it does seem like a little bit like buy it cheap, buy it twice, compared to like getting Harry Kane, and we've kind of got two TVs which aren't that great, and we could have had, I don't know, a huge cinema screen. Yeah.
So the lesson is, don't buy cheap TVs; they break.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind you, I have a 65-inch fairly cheap TV that hasn't broke yet, but the software's a bit dodgy. And then I brought over from England my LG OLED, which I spent just a ridiculous amount of money on when it was like brand new, and now they're much cheaper. And it survived the journey. So there you go.
Was that costly?
Shipping was not actually that costly because we shipped a bunch of stuff. We didn't ship furniture, but we shipped a bunch of stuff we wanted to keep. And so that wasn't too horrendous.
Yeah.
And it took a few weeks, not that long. So, yeah. I mean, given the overall cost of moving country, it was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, TVs. United have a couple up front on the cheap side.
Well, we're hoping Mike can like a TV, doesn't he?
Yeah, it really does, yeah. Funny thing is, you watch reels of him at Bologna, and he looks a completely different player. He does not look slow.
No.
And the ball is not bouncing off his shins like it is doing now.
There have been times, like especially his ball control, and he is silky at times. I think he's done a couple of pirouettes. He's like got really quick feet when he wants to. Like at times, he can look like really silky, and therefore, I think in a reel or a YouTube video, you can see why he'd look good. And I feel like once he gets going, he's not so slow. He's got the acceleration of an elephant.
Yeah, there's some work to do there. Yeah. I mean, this was a club signing.
That is really harsh. It is. Someone's going to have a massive curry for that, calling him an elephant. But he is just slow.
We're going to clip this and put it on the socials, and finally we'll get some people watching our YouTube videos because, yeah, thoughtful discussion about players in United's performance doesn't do it. You need to be abusive. Okay, right, let's pivot into this. I did want to talk about it. I can't even remember their names. There's that twat, Planet Paz or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
Who was like...
That twat is such a great description because he's such a twat.
Just awful. Like, you wait around for a player and you pretend like you're going to get a signature on something, and then you go, you need to improve your first touch and your shooting. And I thought the comeback was pretty good. Why aren't you in the team?
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Why? What are we trying to achieve here with this kind of... It's the worst kind of fan media, that is.
Well, he's trying to achieve clicks, isn't he?
That's
clicks and views and followers.
Right. So divisive content of all kinds, and like anyone who's on Twitter will notice, like 95% of it is fucking magaloons at the moment, and advertising from suspicious-looking media outlets, and clearly, so divisive content like drives views, watches, subscriptions, which drives revenue, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, and so that's what people are looking for. I mean, the other one, I can't remember his name. He used to be on the United stand with Goldbridge, who's standing around in a mix zone, which is for journalists to get quotes from players. And he goes to shake everyone's hand. He gets blanked, by the way, by Eriksen and Anthony and Marcus Rashford. And the whole thing is about look how rude Marcus Rashford is. He didn't talk to me. By the way, he didn't even go to shake his hand with Rashford. So clearly that was the plan from the beginning, right? That's what he wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
People. Yeah. So I just find it very strange that a fan would do that. And so I'm kind of assuming, I know nothing about this guy, he's not like Goldbridge, he's not actually a fan, it's just there for content.
Yeah.
Right?
The first one with Garnacho, I was looking through the guy's feed today. I mean, I really struggled to watch the video in the first place, to be honest. I find it makes my skin crawl, and it makes me fucking angry, to be honest. It's just like, why would you be so disrespectful? This young lad who's 19, 20 is taking his time before a game to sign loads of autographs for the fans out there who basically just spending his free time doing this. And you therefore have the temerity to start questioning his ability as a footballer. Like the disrespect and also the pure arrogance to do that. And then it's not like, when I was looking through his feed today, it was he was taking no responsibility for it. It was like, I've done nothing wrong. Why are all you wet wipes talking about this? And like properly doubling down on his dickheadness. And that just even annoyed me even more, because like sometimes, yeah, you might make a mistake. You might say something and you think, oh, actually, mate, I did do something wrong there. And that's what used to be the case on Twitter. Like, you used to get people who were cancelled and they were like actually apologizing for it. Whereas now it's this whole part of the internet, this whole genre is just so shameless. It's the same way as like how politicians have turned like completely shameless as well. No one apologizes for anything that they actually do wrong these days. They just double down on it and say, I've done nothing wrong. Like, it's just funny. Blah, 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 blah. Grow up. Seriously.
It's even worse. I mean, it's even worse. You just actively tell lies and just like double down on the shamelessness of it.
The nonsense. So, and these people are like in their 30s. And the same guy with like UWS person, I don't know who he was working for or what outlet it was, but it's just like, please just grow up. And it's also like this dehumanization of people as well, I think, for me. Like, is people that forget that these are actual humans. They're not just like these robot people who play football every now and again. These people have emotions. These people have feelings. And yeah, we might say something wrong. Like I called Xerxes, said he has the acceleration of an elephant. Yeah, not great, but it's not the same as like literally going out there with the pure intention of making these people feel and look like dickheads.
I think that's the key thing,
doubling down on it afterwards as well, just for likes, just for comments, just for subscriptions, just for to be noticed, just for attention. That's what it is. It's for attention.
Attention economy pays. Yeah. Right. The attention economy pays, and the most divisive content is the content that gets the most views. I mean, if you look at the data on like Facebook, the amount of Facebook views on videos post content, like 9 out of 10 of it will be like hard right content, like super divisive stuff about immigrants or transgender people and so on. And with football, the same algo kicks in where the divisive content is shown to more people because people talk about it and comment on it and look at it and so on. So I think there's a big difference between that kind of toxicity and what I hope we do here, which is like commentary and analysis about what we've seen as fans. And sometimes that's positive and sometimes it's negative. And when we lose, we get a bunch of comments saying, hey, why are you being so negative? Funny thing is, I just, as an anecdote, I was looking through Spotify trying to work out this problem with getting our subscriber content into the feeds. I didn't even realize you could comment on Spotify. This is how little attention I paid to it. I've just seen it as like another channel. It just automates. The RSS feed goes out and automates the delivery of the content. And it had held hundreds of comments, most of them from two people it held them who have been really abusive, but their point to us, we're being negative. But I do think there's a big difference between, hey, we haven't played well and this player hasn't played well and this is why we don't think they played well and this is the problem with the manager or the tactical approach, and looking for toxic, divisive commentary in order to get attention. I hope there's a difference. I hope there's people see it. And it's why we have 2,100 subscribers on YouTube and we get like, let's say, tens of thousands of listeners. And it's not millions on YouTube and hundreds of thousands or millions of listeners, I think. Or maybe we just do a shit job and people don't like what we do. There's that too.
Yeah, I have never gone onto this show, and I'm sure you're probably the same, with the intention of, I don't know, we could clip that, or I might say something today which will be really like inflammatory so I can get a reaction. Like, I literally come on, try to give my honest opinion and try to be realistic, try not to be too negative, obviously, try and look for positives here and there, but literally just try and be realistic about the situation we're in. And for some reason, that's just not, well, I know the reason, because the reason why it proliferates extremist content is because that's what gets people's dopamine going. It's the reason why people watch stuff a lot of the time with I guess, longer form content like this. Like, you don't really want the extremes to be perking you up every single time. I certainly don't when I listen to a podcast. I kind of want it to be realistic. I want it to be informative and I want it to be interesting. However, when you're kind of clipping and when like for things like Instagram, for Twitter, for the YouTube shorts, you want that extremist content. It's like the reason why when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, you'll be taken in by the really, really cute shit or the really, really extremist shit. And it's obviously one of the reasons why the internet has become so incredibly toxic, is because that really, really toxic shit, that extremist shit is what gets the clicks. It gets the interest from the people, because our attention spans are becoming so shorter. We need that distraction method, that extremist content to perk us up a little bit. And we don't really create that. I mean, probably maybe some people are disappointed in that, but I feel very comfortable in the fact that I don't ever want to become that, to be honest. It's just a grim kind of lifestyle.
You can train the algos to some extent by telling them you're not interested in certain content, but it does, especially with Twitter, I've noticed that it starts circulating again. So I was saying not interested in everything political, basically. I'm trying to, I can get that kind of content and information in different places. Twitter for me is a football community thing, and the For You feed like surfaces politics all the time. And it's not that I don't pay attention or don't want to be interested. I just don't want it in my Twitter feed. And you can train it. And then it starts coming back. So you have to keep doing it. So you have to keep saying not interested. Obviously, the block button has now changed, whereas people you've blocked can see what you're doing. They can't interact with you. So that's somewhat changed it. Unfortunately, I mean, the reason given for that was, well, it's free speech. You shouldn't stop people speaking. I don't know about that. Like, the analogy of like, if you're in the pub and someone comes over to your table and starts shouting at you, and talk to them, right?
No, exactly.
That was the block button for me. I don't want to talk to you. Bye.
Yeah.
See you. And now, unfortunately, they can sit there and they can't talk to you, but they can listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we know why that is the reason, right? Because Twitter has been used as a platform for a certain agenda. Which is why, by the way, everyone's moving to Blue Sky. If you want to find me there, I'm on Blue Sky and NQAT Pod. There aren't that many United fans there, but it's a small community of people.
It's getting better as well. Like, I feel like, especially since the Donald Trump's fiasco of a couple of days ago, like a lot of people have moved there recently, and it feels like early days of Twitter. It's actually nice. There's barely any bots at the moment. It's seeming like, and like you can actually get conversations with nice people. So I'm very new to it, but I'm quite enjoying the new experience. And it's also like a really good app. Like it's not like Threads. I don't know if many people have used Threads. Threads is quite unusable, whereas Blue Sky is basically just old school Twitter. It's really good.
I'm going to try and spend some time there. It's really hard to spend time on all these platforms to actually be a human as well, isn't it? So, I mean, obviously, there's Twitter, there's Threads, there's Instagram, there's Blue Sky. There were some others. There's Sprout, wasn't there? I guess that's not really, don't know if that's a thing anymore. No. TikTok, I don't spend any time there, but I have been posting clips there when I can find the time to do that, because, I mean, like behind the magician's curtain here, we'll talk, I'll edit it. I have to do 2 edits, one audio, one video one. Then I have to post it on my website. Then I have to post it on Acast, our host. And the extra bonus stuff we'll do later has to be posted separately on Apple and Patreon and Spotify, and then you have to post on all the social channels, and it's a fuck ton of work. So yeah, there's very little time for anything else, like building a community on 15 different social channels. All right. Anyway, lovely. Shall we do a quick preview of United versus Leicester at the weekend? Ruud's last game in charge, last game before the international break, last international break of the year. In fact, before March or something like that, isn't it? When the World Cup qualifiers will start.
Yeah.
Joy.
Yeah, first and last game for Ruud with Leicester.
Yeah. All 4 at home, which has been sort of nice, hasn't it?
Yeah. I feel like it's also the perfect fixture list as well. Like, one big team, which we did pretty well against, and then 2 poor team. Well, two poor teams, 3 poor games. Leicester are going to be better than when we played them in the Carling Cup, obviously, because they made a lot of changes that night. And they're a bit of a strange team. Like, they have some real quality. Their wingers in particular are good. Like Jordan Ayew seems to have be scoring somehow at the grand old age that he is. And I can't believe he's still in the Premier League, that boy. But defensively, they're weak. They're really slow. They're quite defensive under Steve Cooper, and I think that Leicester fans are quite annoyed about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they've been actually better than a lot of people thought they were going to be. I think a lot of people kind of thought they were going to be bottom 3, and they've risen above. I think they're maybe 4 or 5 points clear of the bottom 4 after their start, and also losing Maresca. And we've kind of seen how good Maresca was at how he started at Chelsea. Like, to lose him as the boss, that is quite a lot. And also, they didn't really make that many signs in the summer because they're really, really struggling with finances there as well. So I feel like they've done okay. They've got some decent players, but not a huge amount of quality.
Yeah, it was always a tough gig for Cooper. I mean, obviously, an ex-Forest manager going to Leicester, you kind of need to be good. And the fact that he is not playing the attractive football that Maresca did in the Championship, and it's been a bit of a struggle for them. I mean, clearly 17th place is enough, but those expectations there, it's 8 years since they won the Premier League or whatever it is. So
still crazy that you think.
Still crazy that they managed to do that and then fired their manager a year later. Oh, we're amongst the big boys now.
Within the next season, while they're still in the Champions League. But
Mad. So yes, quite a change. Tough gig for Steve Cooper. They will be better. They made 8 changes, I think, for the League Cup game. Clearly wasn't a priority for them. Don't expect them to leave the mega holes that they left us in the League Cup. I don't expect many changes from Ruud. I mean, why would he at this point? Like, it's going to be as strong as possible. I guess De Ligt and Martinez come back into central defence for Johnny Evans, who was fine. We didn't make any mistakes at all. His PAOK has been very good when he's been asked to play this season. So, yeah. But I assume it'll be back to what is the standard back four. We'll see which way the fullbacks play, I guess. I mean, it was kind of, not to go back to PAOK, I'm still looking at Harry Amas and going, when's he going to get a chance? When's he going to get a few minutes? Yeah. Like, we haven't got a left back, and like, when's he going to get?
Yeah, at least bring him on for the last 10 minutes when the game's won. I'm surprised he didn't come on like early. Like I said, I think I said after the Leicester game as well. And like, just get him involved. That's what it just feels like to me. But
we'll see. They Ten Hag wanted him to bulk up a bit and to have some training with the first team. So I guess they're feeling he's not ready yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think there's some agenda to hold him back. He's 17 years old, right? Yeah. He's played very little football. So it's just, we don't have a left back. So you're looking for one and you're going, like, who might fit the bill? Luke Shaw is back training. I don't know what that really means for Luke Shaw. He takes a while to get going, doesn't he? Tyrone Malacia has been back training for a while now. Yeah. Like, don't push them too hard. Their legs will fall off, I guess. Yeah.
When you see Milas Kerkez, who we were really linked to, and by all accounts we turned down because of the money, and you see him getting 2 assists and a man of match performance against Man City the weekend. He is also because I don't know his dad that well, but I know his friend of his dad. He is a United fan and his dad's a United fan, so he'd absolutely love to come to United. So we should be moving quickly before Liverpool snap him up, because I feel like he will go to Liverpool, because he's the perfect player to come into United. He would have been the perfect player to come in this summer, but I feel like he's going to cost a little bit more now if he continues to perform at the same level. Well, I feel like also we didn't shout out. I thought Casemiro was awesome against PAOK, and I feel like he's playing really well at the moment. Not maybe as good as he was in the first year, but I feel like he has refound a little bit of form here, and I think it also helps, as we spoke about before, playing next to Ugarte, allowing him to kind of maraud a little bit further forward. I thought he was really effective for us, and I feel like that partnership that they've got is working quite nicely, actually.
I think it also helps that he he didn't play a bunch of games and hasn't been overused, because clearly his performance levels dipped quite a lot when he's overused or not as fit as he could be, or approaching burnout, red zone, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess he's not been picked for a Brazil squad the last couple of times, so hopefully he gets some time off over this international break. I actually don't know whether he's been called up to the latest Brazil squad, but he wasn't in the one before that. Obviously not the Copa America, so any time off I think is good for him. He does seem to suffer from the amount of games. I did quite enjoy his little bust up with Shola Shoretire, because it was a bit of a scissor tackle. I'm like, that is a Casemiro tackle if there ever was one. That is exactly what you've been doing. It really helps Casemiro with Ugarte, but it just like he doesn't have to cover as much space, right? No. So it's okay if he wanders a bit further forward. Yeah. He's actually a decent number 8. I mean, he's not quite as mobile as you'd probably want a perfect number 8, but it exposes fewer of his weaknesses when he's got Ugarte there.
And also means that because he is so good at reading the play, nowhere near as good as he used to be, and he's still good at covering ground and good at winning the ball back, he can do that a bit higher up the pitch as well, which kind of means we have that effectiveness a bit higher up. And Ugarte he has his faults, but he covers ground so well. He's aware of defensive holes and reads the dangers so well. So that dynamic between them, it's no wonder, like you say, it's no wonder we're so much more solid, but it's working really quite nicely at the moment.
I mean, I feel like with Ugarte, I mean, we talked about this a little bit before. His challenge, he's a bit of a half player, right? He's great at the defensive stuff. He doesn't get really high numbers for turnovers, interceptions, ball winning. He carries the ball okay. His passing is quite average, I think. Although he did hit one very nice crossfield sort of daisy cutter ball yesterday. I was like, all right, well, you can make some progressive passes. I can't remember which game it was the other day when he had like a 93% pass completion rate, but had from 34 passes progressed the ball 47 yards or meters. Wow. So yeah, it goes forward on average 1.1 per pass, right? Wow. So it'll tell you certainly like, and of the 4 longer progressive passes, he'd failed with 3 of them. So I think that data is quite consistent over his time with Paris Saint-Germain. That's one of the reasons why he wasn't in Enrique's plans. If you use him the right way, great. I do kind of suspect we might be looking already for a sort of upgrade on that, which kind of sounds ridiculous since he started like 5 games, but I'm more of an all-round player to play in that, the linking 8.
It'll be interesting because I feel like Amorim's midfielders progress with the ball, carrying the ball a lot. And obviously he played under Amorim and thrived under Amorim. And I feel like Ugarte is reasonably okay at taking the ball forward in possession. It's when he kind of has to pass and use that technique that he's not great. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in under Amorim. And I mean, Amorim got the best out of him before. So I guess it feels like we've reversed engineered this signing, but it maybe it's the way we do get the best out of him.
We'll see. All right. I think that's it. United 2, PAOK 0, toxic fan channels, Leicester at the weekend. No other news that was important this week at all of any kind that I want to talk about. For backers, we are going to talk about Donald Trump and the 2026 World Cup and the intersection of politics and that World Cup. It's a kind of interesting one because obviously we had Qatar, very, very political, Russia before that, which wasn't seen quite in the same way, but turns out it was. Yeah, and 2034 World Cup is almost certainly going to be in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, the intersection of FIFA and strongman politicians seems quite tight. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Everyone else, thank you very much for listening, watching, whatever platform you're on watching this. Hopefully this was not too negative for you. Bye now.